cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slap, hit myself on the map. You long with the wind, but we knowing that it's cap. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. I'm burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
From the glass to the mirror,
Yeah.
do it at me, old man, tryna pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see the ass, and he cleared down. Start to feel like I'm on one. Suddenly, and I be here for the long.
It's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. For today's video, we will be taking a look at a versus video from two of my favorite shoes as far as cushioning goes in the last decade or two. We have the Nike Zoom GT Jump versus the Nike Zoom GT Jump 2. So without further ado, let's take a look. All right, so starting off with the traction on the Nike Zoom GT Jump 1. You do have this full-length herringbone outsole. As you can see, there are some portions of herringbone running across and up and down. And how these performed on court for me, I did revisit this shoe. I have been playing in this shoe recently, and how these perform on clean or dirty floors is fantastic. Dirty floors you'll have to wipe a little bit. Clean floors, not so much. They are amazing. The durability on this shoe here, as far as the outsole, it's super firm. I think you could bring these outdoors. I don't know if you'd want to do that because of the $180 price point, but as far as indoor usage goes, the outsole is crazy thick. It does a fantastic job as far as lateral movements, forward movements. You're not going to have any issues in the Nike Zoom GT Jump 1. I will also say, as far as durability, these things are holding up amazing. This is the main pair I play in. I do have a second pair of this colorway that I haven't even broke out yet, but as far as durability goes, like, no wear and tear at all. And I've played about 50 hours indoors in this pair right here. Now keep that in mind for the Zoom GT Jump 2. So as far as the traction goes on the Nike Zoom GT Jump 2, I would say it is at par as far as performance goes, but it is lacking in one area. But you are getting this multi-directional herringbone traction pattern. It's kind of a modified herringbone traction pattern, but it does a fantastic job. Neither of these shoes have a ton of squeak, but the bite for me has been absolutely insane. So again, clean floors, you'll be covered. Dirty floors, you may have to wipe every 4 or 5 plays, but that's going to be about it. Outdoors again, this one here is a lot more soft in my opinion than the ones, so I think this stuff would wear away outdoors, but I am actually seeing a bit of it wearing away just from indoor usage. So on my right shoe right here, you can see there are some portions here that are actually peeling back, and then you can see it going back in, and then it's just wearing away a ton on the medial side as far as this traction pattern goes. I think it's just because it's an overall pretty soft rubber compound, but as far as performance goes so far, they're really at par. But if I had to give the edge to one shoe over the other as far as traction goes, I would have to say the Nike Zoom GT Jump 1 has a bit more of a durable traction setup. So as far as the traction goes, I would have to give the edge to the GT Jump 1 over the 2s. So as far as the cushioning goes in the Nike Zoom GT Jump 1 versus the 2s, the 1s are a lot different than the 2s. So as far as the 1s go, you are getting that full-length Zoom strobel directly under your insole. So it does run right from the back, right to the forefoot. It does feel amazing underfoot. And then you have this super chunky heel Zoom bag, the pink one here. It's super thick. It offers a ridiculous amount of impact protection at the back of the shoe. And then the forefoot has a extremely large, it basically covers the whole circumference of the forefoot, a Zoom turbo bag. You can kind of see it peeking through right there at the forefoot. And again, just a ton of impact protection at the heel and the forefoot. As far as court feel goes at the forefoot of this shoe, it's actually pretty good in my opinion, because the overall Zoom bag under your foot for the Zoom strobel is pretty low profile. In the heel, that's a different story. It does sit a little bit higher off the ground, but as far as the cushioning goes, I really enjoyed this setup. Now moving over to the 2s, it does differ quite a bit, and there are aspects of both that I do like more over the other one. I'll get to that at the end. The GT Jump 2 does have that full-length zoom strobel directly under your insole, as you can see right here. So you have that zoom bag. So basically you have air encapsulated in a bag with quick response tensile fibers. So when you make your movements and you compress the bag, it does spring back very nicely under your foot. So it's a super nice sensation, very springy underfoot. And then in the heel, you do have a really chunky React foam, and it has a ton of impact protection at the back of the shoe. It compresses a ridiculous amount, but that jump frame does prevent it from being too teetery from side to side. It does a fantastic job. And then in the forefoot, you do have 2 zoom pods. So they do sit on either side of the shoe, on the lateral and medial side. They do offer some ridiculous impact protection up front. And then again, that jump frame is kind of harnessing and protecting those bags from teetering too much on either side. So you're getting a ton of cushion in this shoe as well. I do like the heel better in this shoe because it does have more compression, but the only thing that I've noticed kind of revisiting this shoe as well, comparing them both, is it does feel like it has a little bit of lag at the back of the shoe with this because it compresses so much. So if you land on your heel, it just feels like there's a bit of a lag sensation where you kind of have to regather and collect yourself and then run because it just compresses so much. I think if they actually cut this React bag, or sorry, the foam in half as far as thickness go, it would prevent that just because it just does compress so much. In the forefoot, this shoe overall is actually sitting a little bit higher in my opinion than the GT Jump 1 goes. I think this is a little bit more of a low profile shoe, if you can even say that, because it does have that maxed out cushioning. But as far as the cushioning goes, as far as what I prefer one over the other, I would actually have to give the slight edge to the Zoom GT Jump 2. That React foam in the heel is just amazing. I just wish it wasn't so thick because I have been feeling a bit of a delay in my step, whereas you're not getting that in the back of this shoe. And then you also, I forgot to mention, you also are getting a Cushlon foam that does wrap up and to the medial side. So you are getting that Cushlon foam in this one as well. So I think it's a nice setup in this guy, but I think the heel is just a little bit clunky compared to the Nike Zoom GT Jump 2. So again, if I had to give the slight edge as far as the cushioning goes, I'll have to give it to the Nike Zoom GT Jump 2. So as far as the materials go on the Nike Zoom GT Jump 1, you do have this screen mesh at the toe box and then this jump wire kind of running throughout. It's basically TPU strands that are kind of interwoven to really provide a lot of strength in the upper. And then you do have some synthetic materials at the back of the shoe right here, and then some fused portions that are at the toe box running up the eye stave for some extra durability, and then more or less the same on the medial side. You do have a synthetic leather portion at the top of the tongue with this crazy kind of 3M looking portion here as well. With the circular portion, it's kind of iridescent, and then a really thin kind of screen mesh tongue. So overall, I really enjoyed the material on the Nike Zoom GT Jump 1s a ton. I really had no gripes as far as what you were getting, as far as what you were paying for. On the 2s, you are getting a synthetic material. Now it is kind of a lano weave upper here, as you can see. It is very thin, and then it is backed by mesh. So as far as strength and durability and just break-in time, this shoe took less time to break in compared to the ones. And I actually really enjoy the setup on these guys because you do have a fuse round here at the toe box for some extra durability for those toe offs if you do that, and on the eye stay. So more or less it's pretty much the same setup as far as the fuse portion on this shoe compared to the ones. But where it does differ is this material just broke in a little bit quicker in my opinion on the 2s. And then you do have kind of these airbags running around the heel of the shoe. And then these do have kind of like a plastic portion here for the second last eyelet at the top. And that plastic material does wrap around this shoe also. So more or less, I wouldn't say it's a similar setup, but this material is just a lot more forgiving on foot. So as far as the materials go, comparing the Zoom GT Jump 1 with that jump wire and the screen mesh, and then the 2s having that really thin lentil weave with the mesh backing behind it, I would have to give the slight edge as far as materials go to the Nike Zoom GT Jump 2. Alright, so as far as the weight goes, these are both size 10.5, and as far as the Zoom GT Jump 1, these do come in at 17.35 ounces, and the GT Jump 2s do come in at 16.4, so just about an ounce lighter. So as far as the fit goes on the Nike Zoom GT Jump 1, I did go with a size 10.5. They are very much a true to size fit in my opinion. One thing I will say though is that they start out crazy narrow in my opinion. At the toe box, it does taper in right at the end of the shoe. So if you're a wide footer, I would say go up half a size, possibly even a full size. I think if you can, try these on in store, but they were just super narrow for me and I don't even have a wide foot. So that was a bit of a problem right off the bat. But once they broke in, it was very nice and it didn't take long because the toe box is that kind of screen mesh with the foam backing. The fit goes true to size for me, but I did have some width issues. If you have a wide foot, go up half a size to a full size and you should be good to go. 2s, I did go true to size and it was just a nicer fit right off the bat in these. Really no break-in time, 1-to-1. My foot is basically at the end of the shoe and they just feel very nice on foot. The materials are very forgiving. I will say that this is a mid-cut shoe compared to the ones being a high-top shoe. And an issue that I did have in the ones that I have seen a lot of people having online on the message boards or videos in general is people having Achilles pain through the break-in portion of the GT Jump 1s. I had that in all of the pairs that I own and it does go away over time, but it is pretty painful. You're not getting that in the 2s. So as far as the fit goes, I think you can both go true to size if you have a regular foot. Go up half a size, I would say in both because these are pretty narrow in the forefoot as well. It's just that the materials and the break-in time is far better in these versus the ones. So for me, I would have to give the slight edge to the Nike Zoom GT Jump 2 as far as the fit goes. So as far as the support goes, I'll cover the GT Jump 1s really quickly. You do have that internal heel counter at the back of the shoe, which does a great job of locking your foot in at the back of this basketball shoe. Moving your way down from that, you do have this Pebax jump frame. Now at the back of the shoe, it is pretty clunky. As you can see here, there's a ton of plastic. It is very bottom heavy, but that Zoom bag does make up for it as far as the impact protection goes. But it's very clunky, but it offers a ton of support at the back. And then it does run to the midfoot. So the torsion support in this shoe is just nuts. And then there is this forefoot clip here. This clip does a fantastic job on those hard lateral cuts, keeping your foot on the footbed and preventing any spillage over the side of the shoe. Moving your way up from that, you do have this kind of, I would almost say it's like fish wire material. It's the jump frame, the jump wire that does a fantastic job as far as breathability and also support, kind of harnessing your foot within this basketball shoe. You do have some fly wire cables on the bottom for eyelets on the lateral and medial side, and then 2 that are just a little bit higher that do really draw your foot into the back of this shoe. So these are all things that are helping aid support as far as your foot on lateral support, midfoot support. This shoe is just insane as far as the overall support package. The back of the shoe is just a little bit too clunky for me in my opinion. Now on the 2s, they did improve greatly as far as the jump frame goes. But first and foremost, you do have that internal heel counter. It is a little bit more rigid in the 2s. And then moving your way down from that, you have that jump frame. It's not Pebax, it's just a regular kind of plastic. It's a bit thinner and less restrictive, but it does pretty much run full length. So you have it at the back of the shoe, supporting the back as far as the foam goes, preventing it from teetering side to side too much and being unstable. And then moving your way forward, it does run under kind of as a midfoot support plate, and then right to the forefoot Zoom airbags on either side, preventing those bags from collapsing and being kind of too teetery from side to side. You do have this Phylon midsole that does wrap up the side of the shoe. And then you also have these 4-foot stabilizer straps that do run into the footbed. You can see it right through the shoe. It does run all the way down. So if you really crank these eyelets down at the bottom of a shoe, it's going to do a fantastic job on really harnessing your foot in. You also have these flywire cables at the top that really draw your heel into the back of the shoe and really offer some great support. And then this Lenoweave material, it is super thin. It has that TPU stranded material kind of woven throughout, but it does a fantastic job on preventing your foot from spilling over the side of the shoe, just really supporting your foot in the Nike Zoom GT Jump 2. So I really like the setup in the ones. I think it's kind of a maxed out support setup. I just think it's a little bit too clunky at the back of the shoe and a little bit too bottom heavy at the back. Whereas the twos, they really improve the overall support and preventing this shoe from being too restrictive. So again, as far as the support goes, I'm gonna have to give the slight edge to the Nike Zoom GT Jump 2. Video. As always, if you guys can like, comment, and subscribe, it does help the channel a ton. And check out my Instagram over at 23MJ88, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. As always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.